What's up, guys? So, what if the United States took control of the country with the largest oil reserves on the entire planet? Sounds pretty wild, right? Well, today, we're breaking down an analysis that makes that very claim. We're going to explore this huge geopolitical showdown between the US and China over Venezuela's oil, and what it could mean for everything from global power to the price you pay at the pump. Let's get right into it. Okay, so the source material we're digging into today kicks off with this absolutely massive claim. Now, our goal here isn't to prove or disprove this, but to really understand the analysis that comes after it, to unpack the arguments about the financial and geopolitical ripple effects that would come from a move like this. So let's dive into the core assertion from our source. The argument isn't just, about a change in leadership. It's about a fundamental shift in who's in control and the very clear economic reasons behind it. According to the perspective we're looking at, the language here makes the goal crystal clear. This isn't framed as aid or helping out. It's about taking wealth for direct reimbursement to the United States for what the source calls damages caused. I mean, that's an incredibly direct statement about what the economic plan is. Now, to understand why any of this is such a big deal, we have to talk about Venezuela's role in the world's energy market. The country is a classic case of a paradox. They're sitting on an absolute ocean of oil, but they're really struggling to get it out of the ground. Let this number sink in for just a second. The source highlights that Venezuela has the largest proven oil reserves in the entire world. We're talking more than Saudi Arabia and a staggering 4 times more than the United States. This unbelievable amount of black gold is the prize at the very center of this whole drama. So how did a country that's so incredibly rich in oil end up in this spot? Well, the analysis lays out a pretty clear timeline. It starts back in 2007, when Hugo Chavez nationalized the industry, basically kicking out all the major foreign oil companies. Then, a decade later, U.S. sanctions made things even tougher. The result today, as the source puts it, is that their entire infrastructure for getting oil is just completely broken down. And this chart right here just shows you the result in brutal honesty. Look at that collapse. Back in the 90s, Venezuela was pumping out 3.5 million barrels of oil every single day. Today, that number has crashed to less than 1 million. The wealth is still in the ground, but the ability to actually get it out has just crumbled. Now, this situation is setting the stage for a much bigger global power struggle. This isn't just a story about the US and Venezuela. According to the source, another superpower has massive stakes in how this all plays out, and that's China. So when U.S. sanctions basically pushed American companies out of Venezuela, it created a huge vacuum. And who filled it? According to this source, China did. The analysis claims that in 2025, China was buying a remarkable 80% of all of Venezuela's oil exports. That made them, by far, Venezuela's main energy partner. This slide really lays out the competing goals perfectly. It's like a strategic tug of war. The source argues the U.S. wants to control the oil, push back on China's growing influence in its own backyard, and bring in American companies to rebuild everything. Meanwhile, China needs to keep its energy supply secure and wants to keep expanding its economic influence across Latin America. You can see these goals are in total opposition to each other. So here's the key takeaway from the source's analysis. This move is like a two-pronged attack. It's a way for the U.S. to get its hands on the world's biggest oil reserves. And at the exact same time, it's a strategic blow to China, cutting off one of their key energy sources and weakening their influence in the region. Okay, so we've covered the high-level global chess match. But why should this matter to you? Well, the source connects these giant power plays directly to the potential impact on your wallet, on everyday prices. The analysis speculates on a pretty logical chain of events. First, U.S. companies come in and pour billions of dollars into fixing the broken infrastructure. Second, with all that new tech and investment, Venezuela's oil production ramps way up. And with a massive increase in the global oil supply, in theory, that could drive down the price of oil. And yeah, the price you pay for gas. And hey, the impact goes way beyond the pump. The source reminds us that oil is kind of like a hidden cost, baked into almost everything we buy. Think about it. The cost of shipping groceries to your local store, the cost of running factories, it all runs on energy. So a big drop in oil prices could have a ripple effect across the entire economy.
But this whole situation isn't just about saving a few bucks. The source pivots to argue that wherever there's a major economic shift like this, investment opportunities pop up. And with those opportunities come some pretty serious ethical questions.
The analysis points out that big companies like Exxon or Chevron, the ones who were pushed out years ago, could now have the chance to go back and do massive business in Venezuela. And for investors,
This clearly looks like a potential financial win. But the analysis really encourages people to look beyond just the bottom line. It proposes this kind of three-part framework for thinking about any investment. First, does it make legal sense? Simple enough. Second, does it make financial sense? Can you actually make money? And third, and this is the big one, does it make moral sense? Does it line up with your own personal values?
This quote really gets to the heart of the source's final point. It's a call to remember that behind all these geopolitical chess moves and stock prices are real people whose lives are being turned upside down. The argument is that a truly good investment decision has to consider the human side of things too.
And so the analysis leaves us with this question. It doesn't give an easy answer because, well, there isn't one. It forces us to think about that tricky place where finance, geopolitics, and ethics all collide. When a huge financial opportunity is tied to such a complex and difficult human situation, what's the right thing to do? It's a powerful question to think about. If you found this breakdown informative, please make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you.